Oh. Hey guys. So my name is Feather Bethany. I am a QSSC with Juice Plus. And tonight we have an exciting call for you. We've got several athletes. Hey guys. So my name is Beth. We have several athletes on that are going to be sharing how they manage stress on their body, and they're able to train and perform harder and longer and without causing harm to their muscles and their bodies. So our first speaker is Bree, and here we go. Oh, I got something covering it. So Bree is a high school Texas state champion 4x4 relay and girls track team 2 years in a row. She is a bachelor's of science in nutritional sciences, deferred acceptance to PharmD, and an MBA program to pursue health coaching from a holistic approach as a certified personal trainer and degreed nutritionist. Her personal health struggle with hormone imbalance instigating her own desires to take health into her own hands with movement and lifestyle.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to get to talk tonight. I'm glad I get to go first because honestly, when Feather reached out to me, I am so excited for y'all to hear everyone's stories, and you're going to hear from a variety of athletes tonight. So I hope everybody at least has one person that they resonate with. So I feel like the little fish in the big pond tonight, being a high school athlete. I just did intramurals in college, but have gone on to become a personal trainer. And like Feather said, I am so excited to just give you a glimpse of this community. I am lucky enough, I have grown up around this powerful, positive community of health leaders, people that are really into inspiring healthy living, from athletes to moms, no matter what kind of athlete you are, from the t-ball players to the professional athletes to the ones who are just trying to get back on track. And so I thought I grew up what was normal to me. I was introduced to this community when I was 6 years old. So I honestly don't remember life without it. Looks like there's somebody. There we go. I don't remember life without it. And so that is a beautiful thing. I played multiple sports when I was growing up. We have horses. We were always camping. We were outdoors doing everything. And our yearly doctor's appointment was purely just to get the physical that was required to play sports. I thought that was normal. We weren't on antibiotics. If we got hurt, we recovered really quickly. We weren't as tired as a lot of our other friends that were playing and competing with us at those levels. I have two big brothers, and I ended up in the hospital a few times because of them, not because of injuries on sports, but I just recovered so well. And I really thought that that was normal. Getting into high school and college, realized that when friends of mine, after big games, after meets, were taking a lot longer to recover. If they had an injury or anything like that with soccer and track, they were just coming back tired. They were coming back sore, where my brothers and I were just on top of it. We were ready for the next practice. We were ready for the next game. Our coaches loved us. We always had tons of energy, and we showed up every single day to school. We showed up every single day to practice. We didn't miss anything. I can count probably on one hand the amount of times both my brothers and I all combined were on an antibiotic or missed a day of school or practice because we were sick. And that was what I thought was normal. Then I got into college, started studying nutrition, and started to really realize what all was actually allowing that to be my normal life. I was realizing what I was experiencing was not quote unquote normal in today's world, because if you're not giving your body the foundation of the nutritional needs, you're not focusing on sleep and recovery, you're not hydrating really, really well every single day. As a result, all of those are in combination to allow you to show up on that field, whether that's a field, a court, showing up in real life, however that is for your athlete or you as the athlete. That was something that I never really paid attention to like most kids do. And so getting it back on track, I had my own health with hormone imbalances. And as a result, I lost a ton of weight, which sounds like a good problem. But when you're a thin athlete already, that is definitely something that can flip your world upside down. For the first time in my life, I was not allowed to be working out. I was not allowed to be doing anything that was my typical stress reliever, my go-to. And so that's when I truly learned that getting to move is a blessing. So if you're in that season right now where you're having to move, it's a beautiful place when you can transition over when you get to move, right? So it took a season off. I had to do that for about a year and a half, which definitely changed. If you're an athlete, you know how that changes your muscle definition. Losing weight, losing fat, and losing muscle are very different. So getting back into it, had to learn how to even more dive in and really focus on nutrition for good, clean meals, focus on whole foods, focus on the products that we're excited to share a little bit more about with you tonight, and build back into that healthy life where then I could go on to continue to inspire healthy living myself. So no matter what level of athlete you are, I'm excited that you're here on this call. You're going to get to hear from someone who everybody here shares healthy living. Everybody here is different levels of athletes. And I'm just so excited because this was something that from young age where you're playing, I called it bumble ball when we were young, playing soccer and everyone's just kind of chasing the ball around, all the way up to running track in high school and college. I had a blast with this. And it was truly because I had parents that were teaching me how to take care of my body from the inside out with these products and everything we put on our plate, everything we put in a glass or a bottle, on the field, off the field. And so I'm excited just to turn it over to the next story, and y'all can learn just more and more from all these athletes tonight.
Thank you, Bree, for sharing. That's amazing. I currently got roped into coaching track. I know nothing about track, but small school life, I have become the track coach. And so lots of YouTube videos, but I definitely am in that transition of, man, I have to move to, I love getting to move. And so thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that. So our next speaker is going to be Alexis Busselman. Alexis and her husband, Justin, have been married for 10 years. They have 4 children ranging from 8 years old down to 1, and they currently live in Texas. Growing up, Alexis and her 3 younger siblings were national level swimmers. She was the Nevada state record holder in multiple events and signed her letter of intent to swim at Texas A&M, a Division I program. Her swimming career was cut short, though, by a cancer diagnosis at age 19. So we're excited to hear from Alexis.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here and have the opportunity to share my story with you. So as she said, I was the oldest of 4, and we were all swimmers. We grew up in a community where we just kind of went from the basic learn to swim onto the swim team. And because we had such a great program, it was something that by the time we were in junior high, we were doing practices in the morning. We were traveling about 30 minutes to go to the pool we were at, and we were competing on a regular basis, several times a month. We were traveling the country, and my mom knew that nutrition was important, and she knew that there was no way she was feeding us enough fruits and vegetables. So I was 12 years old when we started on Juice Plus, and we were just so blown away by the impact that it had on our health. We didn't really think it was going to make that big of a difference, but we immediately saw changes in our recovery and there's number of sick days, and our performance was incredible. And so as it was mentioned, I did sign my letter of intent with Texas A&M. They're a Division I women's program, and I was so incredibly proud to have that opportunity. I'd signed early, and I literally was diagnosed with cancer the week that I was supposed to leave. And so I will tell you guys that I was 19 years old, national level athlete, going to a Division I program. I looked fit, but ultimately I wasn't healthy. I had been battling disease that I didn't even know that I had. And it really took me a moment to step back and realize everything that I was being faced with and what that meant for my future. And so I will just tell you guys that even though my life didn't take me back into the athletic world, I now am a mom of 4 young children. My kids do play sports. And I will tell you that the stress that you put on your body during sports and being an athlete, it makes it absolutely critical to be getting the highest quality nutrition. And when I look back on my childhood, the number of practices I was doing, the amount of training I was doing, the accelerated and honors courses and AP classes I was taking through high school while I was traveling in the country and taking these recruit trips was an incredible amount of stress on the body. And we know that fruits and vegetables can really help lower that inflammation and help with that oxidative stress that we face as athletes. And so I will say, as a mom of four, the ultimate athletic life for me now is keeping up with all of my kids. And I don't know if you're a mom or that relates to you as you hear that, but I mean, you're probably up early, you're go to bed late, you're running around, you're trying to get quick meals because you're trying to feed everyone else. Before I jumped on this call tonight, I was doing baths for all the children. And it's just a lot for your body and your mind and everything to take on. And so I will tell you that because we started Juice Plus at such a young age, it was something that we got at a cellular level, day after day, year after year. This community provided me the education that I didn't even realize that I really, truly needed. And like Bree, like now it's a community that not only I got to grow up in, but now my kids get to grow up in. And it's just really opened my eyes to what important aspect nutrition plays in your life, whether you are, like Bree said, the ones out there on the soccer field at that young age, or the t-ball players, all the way up to those, high school and college athletes, and even professional and world athletes that we have on the call tonight. And so with that, I actually have the honor to turn it over to my younger brother. Zane Grothe is my brother. We have different last names since I've been married, but I am excited to be able to turn it over to him so he can share a little bit about where his swimming career took him. So like I said, I went to a great program. Zane went to the top men's program in the country. So he went off to Auburn University, graduated with a degree in aerospace engineering, and went on from there to be an 8-time U.S. national team member, 7-time national champion, 5-time Olympic qualifier, 3-time U.S. Open record holder, 2-time American record holder, and he's a world champion. And so I will tell you, my kids absolutely look up to their uncle and everything that he has accomplished. And I'm honored to turn it over to him to share a little bit of his story.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here. I hope everyone's having a good evening. A couple of things I wanted to share were some of the benefits from Juice Plus that are absolute game changers for me as an athlete. The first one is it doesn't just pertain to being an athlete. It could probably relate to everybody else in the regular world. But the thing that one thing that's very difficult when it comes to competing around the country and around the world is staying regular with your diet, your sleep, hydrating, and even going to the bathroom. And whether it's the middle of the season or the end of the season, it's, sometimes like you'll travel to a meet domestically and you'll be there for a week. Sometimes you'll travel internationally and the trip is a month. But you expect yourself to compete at the highest level every single time. It's hard to do that when you're not hungry because you haven't been able to go to the bathroom from your 6-hour, 12-hour, 18-hour travel day beforehand. So it's a joke that I have with a few of my teammates that I take under my wing on the national team. When we travel to a meet, I let them know, I said, go to the bathroom. Got to go to the bathroom more, and one thing that helps me stay regular and know that I'm eating the right foods to keep that regularity is, having my Juice Plus. It's the first thing I take in the morning on a travel day. It's the last thing I pack on my carry-on to know whether it's going to be the first thing to unpack at the hotel or, maybe I'm taking it 2 or 3 times during an 18-hour flight to Singapore. So that's a big thing. Another thing that is a game changer is it probably pertains a little bit more to the higher level athlete, but it has a relation to any person who's active and concerned about what the quality of nutrition that they're putting in their body. And it's the fact that Juice Plus is NSF certified. Competing in the United States, I'm drug tested by the United States Anti-Doping Agency. Competing on the world stage, I'm drug tested by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Competing in the International Swim League, they have their own drug testing over there. It got to a point where I had probably 15 to 20 drug tests per year, just part of the system. Those drug testing agencies can test for the most minute substances. And that means that not only will they catch the people trying to get away with cheating, but they may catch people with tainted supplements who don't even realize it. I've seen it time and time again where people have to fight the system and sue the companies where the products came from to show that they weren't taking something illegal, that it was cross-contamination in the manufacturing process. It's gotten to a point where you don't just have to research the products you're taking, you have to research the companies that produce those, because if they're producing something that could be on the banned substance list, there could be cross-contamination. You have to take that into account, and you're liable for that as well. But knowing right from the start that Juice Plus is NSF certified, Juice Plus doesn't produce products that are illegally enhancing performance. You know, it's all natural when it comes to that. So it's great to have that in the back pocket. An anecdote on that is the United States Anti-Doping Agency for years, for all the years that I've been competing, has had the same stance that they do not recommend taking supplements at all. They said if you want to take them, it's all on you. And a couple of years ago, they actually changed their position. They said, if you're going to take supplements, start with third-party tested quality control, like NSF certified. And I thought, what do you know? I've kind of been saying the same thing about Juice Plus for more than a decade as an athlete. And it's just funny to know that with that quality control of the quality of manufacturing, as well as the quality of ingredients, that I have that sense of security with the products I'm taking. So those are primarily the biggest game changers for me with Juice Plus.
That is so amazing, Zane. Thank you so much for hopping on. I know you've got like a crazy busy schedule, and we really appreciate you taking time out to come share with us. That's information that obviously I wouldn't know, but that is so amazing. So thank you so much. And are you trying again for the Olympics for 2024? Am I right?
I have qualified for the Olympic trials. It's my 5th Olympic trials, but I will not be throwing my head in the ring to make the team. I'm probably 7 years older than the average age of the American male on the U.S. Olympic swim team. So, and I know from my personal experience with my results that I'm definitely moving out. I've already retired 3 out of the 4 events that I regularly race. I'm in my final season now, and the U.S. Nationals will be in Indianapolis in June, and I will be trying to qualify for the Pan American Games team. And it'll be the first time I've ever qualified for that team if I make it. If I don't, then I'm going down swinging in Indianapolis and ready to, I'll be graduating in December with a master's degree. I'll be ready to finally go get a real job.
Well, that is amazing. And whether you're going for it or not, you qualified for it 5 times. That is crazy. That is amazing. So cannot wait to see how you kill it in Indianapolis. Hopefully, I don't know, does that get streamed live? I'm sure Alexis can share that stuff with us too. So anyway, well, thank you again so much for taking time out of your evening to share with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, I get the honor now to introduce Jason Fowler. He is a 2-time Ironman triathlon world champion in the hand cycle division in 2009 and 2016. Jason won 11 New England motocross championships by age 16. At the age of 17, he became paralyzed from the chest down after colliding with a rock while practicing on his motorcycle. Since his accident, he has completed over 150 road races, 42 marathons, and 46 triathlons. Jason currently works as a mental performance coach and motivational speaker. He also has an MBA and worked in the financial and medical device industries over 20 years in various roles.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Sometimes when you say those numbers, it still surprises me. I'm going, how did I do 150 road races? And that happened in like the first 4 years after my accident. I needed to replace something after my accident and motocross and was so used to racing every weekend that I just transferred that to road races, and we would do 2 and 3 road races a weekend for 3 years. So it added up quick. So thank you so much for having me. A lot of familiar faces out here in the crowd and a lot not so much, but again, super excited to just spend a couple minutes with you guys. So this is like my 19th year competing in triathlon, and every year I have the goal of how do I get faster, right? How do I get faster? How do I enjoy it more? And as time goes on, I keep thinking like, how do I preserve my body so I can continue to do it longer? Just like Zane said, it's like the guys that I'm racing against now are 15, 16 years younger than me, and I'm still able to compete at that level. And definitely there's a reason for that. I've kept it in the back of my mind. As I said, my goal is how do I preserve my body? How do I get faster? Which for me, then if you break that down to another level, it's like, how do I grow muscle more efficient and in a clean way? And then also, so I have 2 kind of things that I think about. I think about my day-to-day, and for the last 18 years or so, I've been working full-time as well as training 20 hours a week. And that is what makes it the most challenging for me, the stress they put on their body. And as Alexis had mentioned about oxidative stress, and you can see it in athletes that don't treat their bodies well and they're not getting the right nutrition. Typically what I see, especially as a para athlete and just using my upper body, is that they start to get a lot of injuries, especially soft tissue. You can even see it in their face, especially with endurance athletes. If you've ever seen a professional cyclist, not only from skin damage, but also just that oxidative stress, you can see that they're 25 years old and they look like they're 40. And you're like, wow, interesting. Why is that? And I've tried to really combat that with really good nutrition. And I learned that from David and Heidi Phillips 14 years ago now, and I've been on Juice Plus since. And so I think about my day to day, and that is how do I get the nutrition that I need? And that is through the veggies, fruits and berries. So I've been taking those religiously for that amount of time. There's been a few times where I haven't taken it for a week or 2, and that's when I really notice a difference. When I'm taking it day to day, I don't even know that I'm taking it. I don't notice a huge boost in energy, which I wouldn't. You can imagine if you're eating some grapes or strawberries or whatever it is, you're not going to notice this boost of energy, which is normal. But when I don't take it, something's just off, just a little bit. And I notice it typically in the morning. I'll definitely notice it in the winter time, because if I'm not taking it, for sure, I'll end up getting some cold. Or if I feel like I'm coming down with something, I'll double up, triple up. And even the week before a competition, I will double and triple up. Or if I'm traveling, I'll double and triple up my dosage. And then so I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking, okay, how do I have the best soft tissue, and how do I keep healthy in that arena? And I know that good nutrition is it's just hard to do. I mean, as Zane was saying, when you're traveling, or you're just on the go and working and up early and up late and in between naps and during the day in my car, passed out because I'm exhausted. How do I get that? And this just assures me that. What I've loved actually in the last year as well is Juice Plus Perform. 25 grams of protein. I learned last year through my previous year of competition was I needed to get at least 100 grams of protein a day. And that's really the only number that I focused on as far as my macros. And that really served me well. But how do you get 100 grams of protein? I try to start the day with between 30 and 40, and it's really hard to do, and do that in a clean way, right? I try not to do any stimulants. I don't do very much caffeine, unless I'm really in need in the afternoon of an extra boost. And I found Perform to really sort of fit that, being it's 25 grams of protein per serving, and it's a lighter flavor. It's really low sugar. I think it's 6 or 7 grams of sugar, which for me is light, and you're burning that off really quickly anyways. And so that just really fit for what I needed. And again, the times that I don't take it, that's when I really notice the biggest difference there. The other thing is, you know, when you're training, my schedule is usually it's 7 days a week, but I have what we call active recovery days. So there's 2 days where I have to be moving. Once I stop doing anything, that's when I really tighten up and I really struggle to recover the next day. And so just overall, I know that nutrition is giving me the recovery to optimize that recovery. So the next day I get up and do it again. And there's, for me, my training, there's not one day, probably like Zane, where his volume, I'm sure, is off the charts. Mine is, as a para athlete, is pretty low. And so it's more about the consistency than the volume for me, or any one big day. And having the right nutrition is really key for me being able to achieve that. So that sort of sums up how I use it, how I think about it. And the other thing is, as Zane was saying about the NSF certification, knowing what's in the product is really big for me. I know, like, these other things, like there's sort of these, like, they say proprietary blends or other things, and when I'm looking at other products to sort of compare it to, and you're like, well, what does that mean? What exactly? They don't want to tell you what's in the product. And and actually Juice Plus's recent campaign of this whole farm to capsule, I love that, because it just makes so much sense to me. I'm as holistic as possible. I don't take any medications at all. And knowing that it's just a really clean burning fuel, and knowing where it's come from, it means a lot to me. It's a peace of mind that I'm getting the best, especially if I've been taking it so long. You can imagine something else that you don't know what's in it. It's just gives me confidence that I'm doing the best that I can for my body.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. And I know I've talked with you before. I met you in Atlanta, and you talked about your recovery days are almost more important than your performance days sometimes. And I appreciate that you touched on the cleanness. You and Zane both touched on, like, the cleanness of the products. And as a health teacher, I teach high school kids, health, and then I coach track. And that's the hardest part to get across to them sometimes, is that, like, you really need to research your products. It might say that it's 100% natural or something like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it always is. And you guys probably know that more so than I do. I've only been on Juice Plus. I'm a little bit jealous of all of you, because I've only been on Juice Plus now for almost 3 years. I haven't been on it for very long. And so that amazes me that you guys have been on it for so long. And I appreciate you guys sharing your stories and sharing your, experiences and your knowledge with us. And I am still just learning, and it's great to listen into real life experiences. So I think we've got a few minutes left. We'll take like maybe 3 minutes of questions. If anybody's got any questions specifically for Bree or Alexis or Zane or Jason, and we can open it up maybe for about 3 minutes, and then we'll let them go and get on with their busy lives. I don't see any in the chat yet. So is there anybody that's got any questions? Go ahead and either unmute or post it in the chat really quick. Heather, we don't have anything on the live, do we?
No, ma'am.
I'll jump in real quick, because this is one thing that was not mentioned, and I feel like it applies to me and Bree specifically, but probably any of you others here who have kids. The Juice Plus products are free for children. So when our family got started with Juice Plus, having 4 kids, that was really the only way that we were able to afford it. And so if you have a child between the ages of 4 and 26, the products are free for them with an adult order. And so I would just encourage you guys to really consider that and the impact that it has in their health long term.
Absolutely. That's the only way that I also have 4 children, and that's the only way we can afford to put our children on these great supplements is, 1, by the Healthy Starts for Families, and 2, I started my own business, and who would have thought that I could have ever ran my own business? So we have a couple questions popping up in the chat. One of them, are any of them taking Juice Plus for athletes? You all take Juice Plus, right? During your trainings, during your recoveries, every day. And so I think all of you touched on that. Another one, do you have a recommendation for exactly when in relation to a workout to take your shakes? Does it matter, or is it better before? Is it better after? I don't know who could weigh in best on that, but if somebody could answer that one for.
I'm happy to answer, Jason here. I've taken them both. It just depends on the day. For me, if I'm hungry before a workout and I feel like my workout's going to suffer if I don't eat beforehand, if I need something extra, I'll take it before. But otherwise, traditionally, I like to make sure I'm fueling myself after a workout regardless. So, but that also depends on the length of the workout and what that is. But most of mine are long enough that it sort of warrants more calories and making sure that I get the nutrition after the workout. So fueling post-workout definitely helps with my recovery. So especially on those hard, longer days. And so post. And that's why I love Perform for that. Just because the lightness part for me is really important. And it just feels, for me, it feels better than something that's a little bit heavier.
And I'm going to piggyback on Jason, because being a trainer, I think that it depends, like what Jason was saying, it depends on the workout, it depends on the day, it depends on your overall goals, because every body is a little different. So, working with moms that are trying to lose a little, working with athletes that are trying to recover and put muscle mass on, you have a play of the calories. I know Jason touched on macros, but utilizing, I love that Juice Plus, even if someone can't or isn't willing to look at the plant powders, the Complete has that in it too. And the Perform has that in it too. So even if someone's willing to just look at a protein shake, right, that gives them the advantage of having the plants as well. So it's got more than just protein. Like what Jason was saying, the Perform is one of my favorites because the flavor is different. And so it gives us, that have been around for a couple decades, something more than just chocolate and vanilla to drink. But also it's got so much stuff for the energy production. It's got a lot of stuff for the recovery, specifically designed for athletes. So I think that would kind of depend on the person too. So as a trainer, it's helpful to have something that can go both ways.
Right. That's great response. And that's, I kind of found, even personally, I like things sometimes before and I like things sometimes after. It just depends. And so it's, definitely a personal experience. We have another question that says, can you speak to trainers and coaches on this call as to why Juice Plus gives you the leg up with muscle recovery, and why should I recommend this to my players? It says, and tell them what Juice Plus is. We know Juice Plus is whole food nutrition going into your body, but why is this specifically the best thing for muscle recovery?
It's like, I don't want to jump in first. So I think that everyone knows what your macros are, right? Everything knows your proteins, your carbs, your fats to give you the energy to help your body. But a lot of athletes specifically miss out on the micronutrition. So all of your vitamins and your minerals that are really building up how tomorrow's performance is going to look, how 4 months down the road's performance is going to look. So if you're looking at something and you're just focusing on carbs, carbs can come from so many different sources, right? But if you're focusing on getting, I think, Amanda, you were the one who said that earlier, focusing on really clean, really natural, not just plant-based, but actually plants. Let's meet those micronutritional needs so you can recover well, you can fuel yourself well, you can set yourself up for success no matter what level athlete you are. I think the question was specifically for trainers and coaches for high school, but no matter what level you are, you have nutritional needs. And so if you're meeting them and going beyond them, your performance is just going to get better and better.
Perfect. And then real
Can-
quick, oh, sorry. Did somebody want to add, Jason?
Yeah, Jason, I just want to add something to that, because something, even after years and years of taking Juice Plus, I questioned it in the sense of, are there other things out there that are better? And so I asked myself that question, and I do often, and there's other things that I've tried, and the thing that always surprised me, because I've had friends come up and ask me, they're like, well, look at the label at Juice Plus. It doesn't, or these other products, and it may show 100 different compounds, right? Well, if you look at Juice Plus, it's a food label. If you took a label from each of those 30 fruits and vegetables and you broke down the compounds in that, you would be looking at thousands of lines. You couldn't even fit it on the outside of the bottle what you're getting from 30 fruits and vegetables every single day, and you multiply that by however many times a year you're taking it. And for me, that when you really think about it that way, what you're getting from this product versus other products, it just, for me, that blows it away. There's nothing that foundationally, it's just required. And I know that I'm not getting it from the other foods that I'm taking or that I'm eating. It's not even close. And so that for me was just a no-brainer on that side. I know there's a lot of science behind that, and there's some, some people that are a lot smarter than me that can explain exactly the studies we've done. And it's the most researched product on the planet, which I just saw in this other video recently. And that for me, again, shows me how good and how quality of a product it is. So
that, as a mama, that was what the number one thing that sold me on providing this for my kids, was knowing that it is backed by research. It's not just another supplement thrown on the shelves that draws us to it. And so, yeah, the research is amazing, and we may have to do a follow-up call to talk to some of the research scientists. So Feather, we'll put that in our notes and try, because there are some questions about the research specifically for athletes, but there's lots of other research. We did have a question from an MMA fighter, and he says it takes an extreme amount of cardio output. Do you see a difference in your cardio after taking Juice Plus? So if anybody can relate to cardio specifically.
I can speak to that. When it comes to extreme cardio, I've been training for endurance swimming for like 20 years. And the one thing that you'll find when you've pushed your body to the limit cardiovascularly is how easy it is to get sick. It breaks your immune system down without you realizing it. And you'll notice very quickly after you've gone too far that your system's just not bouncing back the way it used to. And having Juice Plus and all the nutrition that comes with it starts it's assisting those macronutrients way more than you might imagine, helping your body get all the small things out of the way, because pushing yourself for so hard for so long aerobically and cardiovascularly like that, you can start creating deficits in those micronutrients without realizing it until something major starts to fail. So again, having the entire that huge spectrum of micronutrients is what you'll notice.
Perfect. Thank you for answering that. Well, we thank you guys for your time. This is much bigger than Feather and I ever could have imagined. And we thank you guys for taking your time out for little old us. And it's amazing to get to talk to you guys and get your experiences. And so if you have specific questions, we have played this live on Facebook. And so if you go to Life with a Plus, which is kind of one of our team pages, we'll share the recording. And then Feather and I will also have the recording. If you've got a Juice Plus rep, they can reach out to us at any time and we can share the recording. We can share more information. And we plan to have more calls in the future, and hopefully Alexis and Bree and Jason and Zane are all willing to maybe at some point come back on and talk some more, because this has been amazing. I know as a high school coach and a mama and a teacher and all the things that fall under this spectrum, it has been really amazing to hear just those experiences from my perspective. So we thank you guys for your time, and we look forward to talking to you more in the future. Feather, you got anything to add?
No, just thank you to everyone that hopped on to listen. If y'all have any questions, you can reach out to myself on Facebook Messenger or Amanda. Her Facebook is Dunlap-Bridge, Amanda. So, and we'd be happy to get answers to any questions you have. Other than that, I think, Mick, did you want to say something? No? Okay. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great evening, and yeah, thanks again to our speakers and to all of our everyone that got on to watch. So y'all have a great weekend.